have a little something to say. My first season coaching, which was 20 years ago, over at Lowell High School, we went 1-7, 1-9, sorry. About 5-6 years ago, we had our second consecutive season, or maybe third consecutive season of either 1 or 2 wins. The point is this: you're not what you are. Like, you're not what your record is, you're not what your worst day is, and you're not what your best day is. You know, you just got to keep showing up, trying to be a little bit better than your worst, and always striving to give your best. You know, so when you walk out of the hallways of TMHS for good, or you just walk out of this auditorium, or you walk off of the baseball diamond, or lacrosse field, or whatever it is, you know, hold some humility if you had a great day, and understand you're going to have rough days coming up. And hold your head high if you have your worst day, because you're going to have some pretty good ones up along the way as well. Whatever that's worth to you. We had one of our best seasons in a long time with the boys, and this is my first year actually as a head coach in the spring season, even though it's my 20th year coaching. The boys track team was state champs in the state relays, which really requires just about every member of your team to compete and score. And we were runners-up at the Division III championship meet to a very good Stoughton team. I had a blast coaching the boys, the energy that they brought every day, and the hullabaloo that came with each and every practice was more than sometimes I could handle, but it was enjoyable nonetheless, and I thank the boys on the team for that. Okay, enough talking. Coaches Awards. I got 4 Coaches Awards. We had a pretty good season, as I said, and it was just impossible to say, you know, to pick 2. So we went with 4, and I thank Mr. Drew for that support. First Coaches Award goes to a guy who deserved a better fate than what he received. One of our top guys all year, and we went out to New York for a trip and a meet, and he hurt his foot out there. And to his credit and part of his character, he suffered a very difficult setback, but he did not allow it to set him back. He rested, he was patient, which is really hard for him to be, and he was able to make it back to the divisional championships, in which he was a part of the school record 4x1 relay, and he made it to the L States. So our Coach of the Award goes to Colby Wilson. The next one goes to the guy who has definitively logged the most miles in TMHS over the last 4 years. I think the characteristic, the adjective that comes to mind is steady. Casey Ryan, his personality, his character, his performance, I'm sure academically as well, he's just solid and steady and reliable. And that's generally the most important kid you can have on the team. You need some talented kids, you need some crazy knuckleheads like we have in the back, but you need steady, you need consistency, and Casey Ryan is that in spades, as Coach Cusick would say. So, Casey Ryan. Our next Coach's Award is our only underclassman. Coming into this season, Zach had his eyes set on the school record in the 110 hurdles, and he did not have his eyes set on the 400 hurdles. And at several points along the way, I told him, look, you know, you're going to run 110 hurdles. They're not going to run 400 hurdles. We're not going to let the 400 hurdles get in the way of the 110 hurdles. And as we got closer to the state meet, and we had to really kind of decide our lineup, Zach walked up to me and he said, look, I want to do whatever is best for the team. If I have to run 400 hurdles, I'll do it. You know, and you know what happens when you take a great risk? You go deeper down the well of commitment. And Zach had his best race in the 400 hurdles by over 2 seconds. Was in the unseeded heat. He was seeded 9th. He ended up 2nd overall, and he was pretty tired for that 110 hurdle race. You know, but because he had went all in, he was that much significantly more committed to seeing it through. And sure enough, he might not have had the end result that he wanted at the divisional meet, placing 5th, I believe. But he certainly earned himself another trip to all states in which he has qualified for the Olympics. So our Coach of the Award, Zach Malone. Lucas Frost is the only track athlete on the boys' side to be a 2-time All-State champion. Coach, you know, I hated seeing Maddie Cahill go, but you know, we had a little one-for-one there, so it felt like we owed you. You know, we got Lucas from the baseball team. His arm speed is out of this world. You know, Coach Druin's coached baseball for a pretty long time, and he came down, you know, and on the spot, he watched Lucas throw, and he's like, man, the biggest difference is how fast his arm moves, you know, through the space. But I think really what sets Lucas apart, probably more than anybody, is that I've ever met, is how laid back he is. He is the most laid back guy you could be around until the day of the meet. And then he's antsy and he's pacing back and forth and whatnot. But his laid-back attitude serves him well. And he's got one more meet at New England Championships. He's seeded 4th, and we're heading up to Maine this weekend. Hopefully he and Zach can do some big things. Lucas Frost.
Can I ask everybody's favorite trainer, Tori Kevin, to come up?